11 wins, 8 submissions. The youngest MMA world champion in history. Title at 19 years old. 5 consecutive first-round finishes to start her career.
There's no time yet.
There it is.
Very wow.
And this, she could be setting up the twister here, Steve.
And
the neck crank.
It's the neck crank. It's not underneath that chin, but she's tapped out. The
To breathe. Her right arm is not completely tight to her
I
back.
think she's tapped out. She's done it.
And a 72% submission rate that turns every fight into a legal disclaimer. If you go to the ground with Angela Lee, the only outcome is tapping the mat and hoping she lets go before something breaks. They called her unstoppable, and after 5 first-round finishes, nobody argued with the nickname. 5 nightmares, 5 receipts. Whew. Get ready for pain. This is Knockout.Legends. Here we go. Professional debut, 18 years old, 1 championship. And on the other side of the cage, Aya Saber, an Egyptian with MMA experience who probably figured a Hawaiian teenager wasn't a real threat. 18 is the age when most people are deciding what to study in college. Angela Lee was deciding which arm to break first on a professional MMA fighter. First round. Angela closed the distance, took Saber down, transitioned to mount, and applied an armbar that stretched the Egyptian's arm beyond what human engineering considers acceptable. Saber tapped the mat. Professional debut, first round. First submission, at 18 years old. And the 4 fights that followed ended exactly the same way, in the first round.
Nuts behind this bitch. Look at that.
Look at this transition. She tries to pass the arm. Saber is doing a very good job. She's defending right there, but then she sinks it right into the armpit and just completely extends it. Very beautiful armbar.
I am impressed that Saber had the tenacity to hold on for so long, actually. There it comes. She had 2 bites of the cherry, actually. She just lost it midway through, didn't she?
But the debut was a classic armbar. What came next was something nobody had ever seen before. A twister is a submission so rare that most professional fighters never see one in their entire career, not receiving it and not applying it. It works by rotating your opponent's spine in a direction your body knows it shouldn't go. It's the submission that jiu-jitsu professors teach as a theoretical curiosity, like a dead language nobody speaks. Angela Lee spoke it fluently. Natalie Gonzales Hills stepped into the ring as Angela's 3rd professional opponent. What followed was, according to One Championship, the 2015 Submission of the Year. Angela took Gonzales Hills down, took her back, and instead of going for the classic rear naked choke, she tangled her opponent's legs and torso into a position that looked like a human pretzel designed by an engineer with a sense of humor. 2015 Submission of the Year, a twister, in her 3rd professional fight, at 19 years old. Pulling off a twister in competition is like landing a triple backflip in gymnastics. It's technically in the rulebook, but nobody expects someone to actually do it. Angela actually did it. And Gonzales Hills' spine has not forgotten the experience.
Get all the way around just now.
Now she's kind of rolling her over here.
Natalie's cut.
And this, she could be setting up the twister here, Steve.
Wow, what a finish! That's an unbelievable finish! What was that?
Steve, she finished her with the twister. It is a submission where you crank on the spine. If you don't tap, you will rip your opponent in 2.
That is a crazy finish.
3 fights, 3 first-round submissions. but she needed one more to reach the record. Rebecca Heinzman, Canadian, 3-1. And the fifth consecutive opponent who is about to discover that fighting Angela Lee in the first round is like walking into a dark room knowing there's a trap, but not knowing where it is. The only certainty is you are going to step on it. First round. Angela took Heinzman down, took the back with the patience of someone who knows exactly how many seconds are left in the round, and applied a rear naked choke that shut off Heinzman's airway as if someone had unplugged the oxygen from the room. 5 professional fights, 5 submissions, 5 first rounds, 5 opponents who walked in with plans and walked out with stories about what it feels like to be choked by a teenager who weighs 115 pounds and smiles after doing it. And one championship knew they had something special. So special that they created an Atomweight championship specifically to put a title on her. Which isn't favoritism. It's recognizing that when someone submits 5 consecutive people in the first round, the only logical response is to give her a belt or stop booking her fights.
Knee to the head, knees. And again, Rebecca blocks it off. She uses the right hand just to block the knee, and then she grabs it, but Angela's got the throat now.
Now Knockout's quite is still over the single leg and trying to block those knees. Angela was able to spin around and take her back and sink in this choke, and this looks like it's kind of a neck crank.
It's a neck crank, it's not underneath that chin, but she's tapped out. The torque cranking the neck did it. She had the figure 4 leg lock in. There was very
World Championship at 19. But the most impressive defense wasn't the most technical one. It was the one she pulled off with pneumonia. Istela Nunes, Brazilian, 2-time Muay Thai world champion, 7-1, dangerous on the feet, powerful, and exactly the kind of opponent who should cause problems for a pure grappler. What nobody knew, except Angela and her team, was that she was fighting with pneumonia. The bell rang and Angela Lee entered the cage with lungs operating at 60% capacity. It's like running a marathon with a 45-pound backpack, except the backpack is inside your chest and the marathon involves someone trying to knock you out. Round 2. Angela, breathing as if every gulp of air cost money, took Nunes down and applied an anaconda choke, a submission that uses your opponent's arm and your own weight to cut blood flow to the brain. Nunes tapped the mat. Title defense with pneumonia. Round 2. Anaconda choke against a 2-time Muay Thai world champion. Doctors would probably not approve of the decision, but doctors are not MMA world champions at 20 years old. Angela Lee is.
Look at Nunes, her head is pressed up against the side there of Angela Lee. Angela Lee has both arms nice and tight, but there is space for Nunes to breathe. Her right arm is not completely tight to her
I
back.
think she's tapped out, she's done it! It couldn't last forever. Angela Lee has made her second successful defense.
But the most emotional nightmare was still to come. After a pregnancy, a temporary retirement, and a personal tragedy, Angela came back for one final defense. After the pneumonia, after a car accident where she fell asleep at the wheel, after a pregnancy and the birth of her daughter Ava Marie in 2021, Angela Lee came back. Not because she needed to prove something, because the cage was her home and she didn't know how to live without fighting. Stamp Fairtex, Thai, one Muay Thai and kickboxing champion. The only human being who held world titles in 2 different sports within one. Now she wanted a third in MMA against Angela.
Adjust. She might choose to go after the arm. And look at Stamp trying to get back to her feet. Angela repositioned. Angela.
Stamp was the favorite. Angela hadn't fought in 2 years. The critics said motherhood had softened her, that time had rusted her, that coming back after a baby and 2 years of inactivity against a double champion was competitive suicide. Angela Lee doesn't read criticism. She reads arm bars. Round 2. Stamp tried to maintain distance with her kicks. Angela closed, took her down, and transitioned into a submission that made Stamp tap the mat for the first time in her MMA career. The double Muay Thai and kickboxing champion had just discovered that MMA has a department where kicks don't work, and that department is called the ground with Angela Lee on top. Comeback after pregnancy. Comeback after 2 years without fighting. Title defense against a double champion. Submission in round 2. And the confirmation that unstoppable wasn't a nickname. It was a diagnosis.
Rear naked choke. 15 seconds remaining. Stamp's got to survive. 10 seconds left. And survival. And the knife was up. The queen reigns supreme. The crown still fits.
In September 2023, Angela Lee stepped into the One Championship cage for the last time. Not to fight, to retire. She stood in the center, grabbed the microphone, and announced she was leaving the sport that had defined her since she was 15. Stamp Fairtex, who had lost to Angela in 2022 and who was now becoming the new champion, looked at her and said, "The woman who took her throne called her an idol, and that, more than any belt, more than any twister, more than any defense with pneumonia, sums up who Angela Lee is." She didn't just build a legacy of submissions. She built a legacy of inspiration. Every female fighter competing in One Championship today knows there's a Hawaiian girl who started at 18 and proved that women could be the main event, the headliner, and the reason 55,000 people bought a ticket. 11 wins, 8 submissions. MMA world champion at 19 years old, the youngest in history. 5 consecutive first-round finishes to start her career. Submission of the year with a twister. Title defense with pneumonia. Comeback after pregnancy to submit a double champion. And a 72% submission rate that says if you fought Angela Lee, you had 3 out of 4 chances of tapping the mat.
Good left hand from Lee. Oh, and a great takedown. Wow, that was impressive.
Beautiful headlock takedown. Looking to pass the half guard here. And she slides right into mount. Very good. Oh, she just kind of splays her out.
She retired undefeated in spirit because her 3 losses were by decision or in fights where she moved up in weight trying to become a double champion. Nobody in her entire career submitted her. Nobody knocked her out at Atomweight. Nobody made her quit. Unstoppable wasn't a nickname they gave her for marketing. It was a nickname she earned on the ground, with 8 submissions, with a twister that shouldn't exist, and with a career that proved a teenager from Hawaii could become the face of women's MMA in Asia. And when Stamp Fairtex told her, "You will always be my idol," that wasn't courtesy. It was the truth. Because champions win fights. Legends inspire the ones who come after. This is Knockout.Legends. Until next time. If you enjoyed the video, front kick the like button, subscribe to the channel, and vote for your sport.